Along with Splinter Cell, The Prince of Persia: Sands of Time is one of the games that lifted Ubisoft into mainstream prominence. Prince of Persia laid a groundwork for every platformer that came after it. Most realistic 3D platformers use the streamlined methods from Prince of Persia, which were derived from the OG Tomb Raiders. More than anything, without Prince of Persia there would be no Assassin's Creed, with the obvious Prince of Persia Assassin being the starting point. You can trace Prince of Persia to modern Tomb Raiders, Uncharted and so on. They haven't come far since Prince of Persia because Prince of Persia was incredibly forward-thinking. But this isn't about the games itself. This is about disrespect. After the Prince of Persia 2008 reboot received backlash for simplistic controls and boring platforming. Mind you, the game is still excellent. Ubisoft, instead of building on the gameplay and releasing a sequel, decided to cancel the reboot, at a cliff no less. They instead made a decent but ultimately forgettable Interkill game. That was in 2010. Ubisoft then decided to pause the franchise. 10 years is a long time, and the only prominence the games got were some mobile stuff. Assassin's Creed also degraded away without any resemblance to what could once upon a time be traced back to Prince of Persia. It was a long pause. Before I carry on, let's take a look at the sales figures, as I am constantly being told Prince of Persia is a niche. So generally most of the time Pop sells 1.5 to 3 million. Which is great for most studios, but not for Ubisoft, who got used to Assassin's Creed sales. As of 2014 the OG Sands of Time sold 14 million copies. Which is obviously a respectable amount. It is a classic. Regardless, most of us had given up. So after 10 years of waiting, the leaks, we held hope, and what do they give us? After a long fucking time, they give us a cash grab remake among a time when other remakes are showing us the spirit of the classics. They throw us a game that looks worse artistically, poor character modeling, texturing, flat lighting. And even the once smooth animations have been clunked down. All I can ask is why? Sands of Time is a game that holds up tremendously well. If the OG game looked bad it would be one thing. For a game that was in the top of graphical fidelity at its time, this remake is a disgrace. The modeling, the art direction, it's just a mess. What once illicit dreams of the Arabian Night looks like a college graduate project made using a downloaded pack of pop assets. Why was it given to a studio who has never handled a AAA game? In fact, the quality would have been better if Ubisoft had actually outsourced it. I do not know if I should blame the Indian lady who speaks English and types with one finger. But regardless, I don't just see a lack of budget, I also see a lack of competence. I can see for a fact that the people who worked on it does not care. I know Ubisoft also doesn't care. It's a paladin being resurrected as a zombie. It hurts seeing something you love get zombified. Now a new generation of gamers will play this, they will associate Sands of Time with this heartless remake. When we gush about Sands of Time they will think of this remake. Somehow after 10 years, Ubisoft has managed to make at least some of us wish they never brought back Prince of Persia. This is worse because Prince of Persia sells. While it may not sell like the recent Fallen Order, there is a craving for linear action-adventure games, and Prince of Persia is at the pinnacle of that. If the remake fails, Ubisoft will forever pause Prince of Persia. If it succeeds, then where do they go? Do they go fuck up Warrior Within and Two Thrones next? I don't know where this is going. I don't know whether I want the game to succeed or fail. It hurts because I care. I wish I could be like Ubisoft. And just didn't.